Hi everyone, welcome to Ship Talk. My name is Jared, co-founder of Lojistic, where we help companies better monitor, manage, and reduce their shipping costs. Today I'm joined by my colleague Brian to discuss Lojistic's laws of parcel negotiation.
Yes.
So Brian, everyone's heard of Newton's universal laws of motion. And coincidentally, there are also 3 universal laws of parcel negotiations.
Right.
According to us.
According to us.
And while they might not warrant a Nobel Prize, they may help you reduce your shipping costs.
They will absolutely help you.
All right, so let's get into them.
Yeah.
What are the 3 fundamental laws of parcel negotiation? So let's just list them out first, and then we'll talk about each one in detail.
First one is know thyself.
Okay.
Second one is all things are negotiable.
Okay.
And the last one is prepare for the future.
Awesome. So let's dive into the first. The first is know thyself. What exactly does that mean?
Know thyself is really know what you can and what you need to know about your supply chain, and specifically to UPS and FedEx, your small package movements. If you think about it, UPS and FedEx know everything there is to know about your packages.
Right? They're the Google of the shipping industry.
I would consider them the Google of the shipping industry. They know everything there is to know about your packages, which if you don't know the same information or even more than them, you're going to be completely at a disadvantage when you're negotiating.
Sure. Well, how do you find out as much as they do? Because they obviously have a lot of data that they're collecting. How does one know thyself to the level that UPS and FedEx would know you?
Yeah, so the best part obviously about both carriers is they provide data, your data, back to you, right? You grab that billing data that they provide and manipulate it in ways so that you understand every charge that goes into every package that goes out your door. And with that, if you don't have the ability or the capabilities to take a look at that data and ingest it somewhere and be able to spit out reports and help you understand the data, it's always good to lean on somebody like a Lojistic, like us, who can basically take all your data and spit it out in easily understandable either dashboards or reports, and you can really understand every bit of package information.
Sure, because there's a tremendous amount of information.
There's thousands of rows of data that comes out every week.
And just looking at Excel sheets can be a little bit overwhelming and ineffective in helping you as a shipper understanding your shipping characteristics. But it sounds like what you're saying is you need to understand your characteristics to the same level that your carrier does, such that you are armed then with the information and the data that you need going into negotiation to understand what characteristics are appealing to a shipper, which aren't, such that you're able to leverage those characteristics in your favor. So the second law you mentioned, Brian, is that all things are negotiable.
All things are everything is negotiable.
So let's talk about that. All things as in everything?
Everything. Language in the contract, service level discounts, surcharge discounts, rate increase, you name it, everything is negotiable. It's mind-boggling sometimes when we mention a certain surcharge or a discount on a surcharge that a customer should have that they don't, and they are blown away by the fact that they didn't think that they could get a discount on a surcharge.
Or that their carrier rep told them that that is a surcharge that is not discounted, correct?
Yes.
So that's a great point. Would you say that some surcharges or some components within an agreement are more sacred or less likely to be negotiated or discounted by the carriers?
Yeah, we would consider certain ones holy grail, minimum reductions, especially on the ground side if depending on the service level you're using most. The minimum reductions, the rate increases are another holy grail.
Fuel surcharge?
Fuel surcharge is another one that we would consider a holy grail. Those are really the 3 holy grail. And then obviously you want to understand your characteristics to the point where if you're asking for a certain surcharge, what's the impact of that surcharge on your overall spend? Because you might be asking for a discount on, hypothetically speaking, address corrections, but you don't really have that many address corrections to begin with, and you're basically going after pennies to stepping over dollars.
Sure.
So you want to make sure, that's one of the reasons really why you want to understand yourself and consider every piece that goes into your supply chain and the costs that impact your transportation costs.
So what it sounds like you're saying, if I understand you correctly, is everything is negotiable.
Yes.
Down to fuel, down to minimum charges, down to anything within a carrier agreement. Understanding the level to which the carriers have the ability to move
Right.
in each of those areas is something that is not common knowledge.
Right.
But at the end of the day, everything's negotiable.
Yes.
Great. Let's move on to the last, which was prepare for the future.
Right.
That's a third law. What do you mean by that?
So with that is understanding what's coming up, depending on when you're negotiating your contract, what's coming up in the market, right? So rate increase, possible rate increase, any surcharge changes, anything like that might be coming up. In addition to that is anything that might be happening within your company as well. So are you launching a new product that's going to completely change your characteristics, either positively or negatively, right? Because there's certain characteristics of packages the carriers like, and there's others that they don't like. They don't like shipping pillows. They don't like shipping fake trees. So understanding what's going on within your world and how that it could impact your supply chain is a big piece. And you want to make sure that you understand what the future looks like. So when you can communicate that effectively to your carrier and plan for that or those changes as well.
Yeah, it's amazing how often we see shippers do things that essentially shoot themselves in the foot in the future, right? And so, oftentimes we'll see shippers burn a bridge with a non-incumbent carrier, and then 2 years later, they need that carrier, right?
That's another big one is understanding what you're doing today and how it's going to impact tomorrow. Because there's only really the two big carriers, UPS and FedEx, you want to make sure that you understand what you're doing today and how that's going to impact any sort of relationship you might have with either one of them later.
Sure. And another common thing that you see a lot of, I know, is the way agreements are structured that has a negative impact on a shipper in the future. For example, if they have accessorial discounts that expire after a certain time frame, or they have accessorial discounts that are a flat dollar amount as opposed to a percentage discounted, which diminishes the effectiveness of that discount over time as the rate increase comes into effect each year, right? And then you have things like early termination language,
That's a big one, yes.
Where, it may make sense in your mind to sign that now, but what if your carrier next month rolls out some mid-year rate increase that has a very dramatic negative impact on your business, and now you've just locked yourself into a 3-year deal because you signed early termination language, right?
Yep.
So is there anything else, Bri, that you can think of as it relates to preparing for the future?
I think one of the best things or best pieces of advice is probably just maintaining that cordial relationship with your carrier, whether it's your incumbent carrier or the competitor, really. And the competitor is the big one because you want to bring them in at some point as well to ensure that you can level the playing field when you need to. So that relationship with both carriers is a big piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense, especially in the small parcel industry where if there's really only two options and you end on a bad note with the non-incumbent carrier, let's say, well, they're going to remember that, and it's going to be difficult to re-engage with them at some point in the future. Yeah. Those are some great tips, Bri. Thanks for sharing your thoughts on logistics laws of parcel negotiation. And thank you, everyone, for watching. For more information on how you can join the thousands of businesses currently using Lojistic to help monitor, manage, and reduce their shipping costs, please visit our website at www.lojistic.com, where you can create a free account. Till next time, take care.